Ladies and gentlemen, unsuitable language, number 39. 39. Die like a dog. Can you hear me okay? Is the music playing, John? This is my wife Mercedes playing this music.
Now say thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
Now, bump, bump.
Tremendous talent. Tremendous talents. This is my favorite band. I play them all the time. I say, hey, will you go to the prison with me and play with the band? This is what you boys doing. Want to do? Can I take your boys to prison, John?
Can you take them to prison?
Take them to prison. That's it.
Oh.
Greatest prison ever. It'd be a tremendous prison.
If you're there, yeah, if Trumpy's there, it'll be a fantastic prison. That's right. What if he just asked them to make Mar-a-Lago his prison? Like, I'll just stay here.
I stay. Tremendous. Look, we'll make it a nice prison. Have a little prison yard. I'll buy my own shanks.
It's like him, Giuliani. It'd be like a felon sleepaway camp or something.
White House 2. We'll call it White House 2. The insurrectionists, they can all come here and stay. I'll charge them, of course. The government's going to pay me triple price.
Yeah.
Triple price to stay. I'll charge me for my own room at my place.
Now, Donald, in your MAGA fantasy camp, who gets in?
In my MAGA fantasy camp, you got to have the Giuliani. How are you going to get the young women if you don't have the Giuliani? You're going to get the ladies. You got to have Giuliani. He's the magnet. Did you see him in the what was the show with the crazy man? He put his pants down for the young girl. She's young. She's an adult. What's that show? Borat.
Was that Borat? Yeah.
Borat. Yeah. Tremendous. You got to have the Giuliani. You got to have. You haven't indicted her, but Boebert should come. She's a hottie.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
MTG. We need someone to carry heavy shit. She'll be the strong one. She'll carry the heavy shit around.
Okay.
I have my bodyguards who help me hide the shit from the government. You got to have those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the people, you got to have those people.
All right. So then, in your foursome, then who gets that fourth slot? Is it Ben Carson? Is it Tim Scott? Is it
Tim Scott? Tim Scott likes to kiss me. He's very attracted. I can't blame him. Look at me. Tim Scott, he likes to kiss me. He says, "I will kiss you, sir." I said, "Oh, Tim, come on. It's not enough." Vivek Ramaswamy. A lot of people wants him to be my vice president. He's a millionaire. He's a billionaire like me. So, we can talk about a lot of billionaire stuff. Maybe you loan me some money. That's how you get on the VP. If you want to be the VP, loan me to like $540 billion. Anyone got that? Million, whatever I owe. Here's the good news. Fines are tax deductible. I'm not going to ever pay taxes again. That's the point. I'll never have to pay taxes. If I pay this fine, I can roll it over and roll it over. It's going to be tremendous. Some people say it's a problem to owe this money. Not for me. It's just a tax deduction. That's what it is.
Very nice. Very nice.
Putin might help me. I say, hey, Poot. I say, Poot, come over, help me. Help me pay this bill, and maybe I'll let you have Ukraine. Huh? NATO. If NATO doesn't pay, I tell Putin, come over, take them over, destroy them all, kill all the Europeans. I'm okay with it. It's all right. They didn't pay. They're deadbeats.
No.
You know anybody that doesn't pay the bills, John? Anyone?
So, and this is a good point. They're not dues, right? They don't have to pay dues, right? It's not a club. Like a golf club, NATO. NATO is not a golf club.
There's no golf in NATO. Is that what you're saying? No wonder I don't like it. Shut it down. Shut it down. There's no golf club. I went there. I did. I went to the NATO. I gave them a chance. I said, look, pay me your golf dues. And they said, we don't have a golf course. I said, what about in Scotland? We got a golf course in Scotland. I lost $13 million. $13 million that golf course lost. I could stand to make some money with it. You know what I'm saying? Putin could come. It'll be a tremendous time. My wife Mercedes. I love her. She's my favorite car. I got notes. I got
So
notes here.
what hole is your well, that would be a weird way of saying it. What hole is your hole buried in? But what hole is
The New
your
Jersey
pussy
course, John.
buried in?
Everyone knows Ivana's at the New Jersey course.
Oh, she's at the New Jersey
She's on the
course.
first hole
Oh,
where you tee off. Yeah, you can shank her if you want. You can shank into her. She's
Is she
okay with
under-
it. She's dead. She don't care.
she under the green? Is she on
Tremendous
the
tax deduction, by the way. Another tax deduction. If you bury
13th
your wife
hole?
on your golf course, you can deduct the golf course as a cemetery.
Oh.
It's a cemetery now. I mean, so if you want to, like, you want me to scatter your ashes, you don't even have to be dead if you want. I'll just scatter your ashes. Like you got some tough secret documents that you've been trying to hide, and you got ashes. You burn them. You burn them, right? Here's what you do. You take them up. We'll scatter the ashes at my golf course. You can't read this, John. It's top secret, John.
Oh. I was trying to see if that was.
Here's what it says. We have nuclear weapons stored. Oh, you thought I was going to tell everybody. Actually, I didn't mean to give out the top secret information this week at my rally when I said we had a bomb that could really do great things to Russia. Don't be afraid of them. We have a bigger bomb than they have because they're like, Russia's got a bomb that can destroy our space stations. Did you know that? Our satellites?
What are
Very
they called?
upset. Very upset. But if Russia does that, I will charge them twice the price to replace them. They'll have to pay. That's all I'm saying. Russia will pay.
What do they call the weapon?
Little poop poot. I don't know what that poop poot.
You're not
Poop
privy
poot
to
satellite killer.
those facts?
He names, if he's a smart guy, he names everything after himself. I know any people. No one does that.
Okay.
Tremendous. Name all the satellites after yourself. That's what I do. And when I'm president, everything will be Trump. Trump City, Trump land, Trump town. I'm going to be a dictator, John. Dictator for a day. My first edict, everything's named after me.
Mr. Trump, you had a tremendous victory last night. Is there anything you wanted to say about to Nikki Haley?
The blacks love me. That's all I can say. I'm in South Carolina. Tim Scott's trying to French kiss me. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. I don't roll that way, Tim. And then Nikki Haley, she's a bum. She needs to get out and let this thing be over with. There's no point. I beat her like a dog. Like a dog. She's probably crying. She's, oh, I lost it to Trumpy. She's crying. She's always crying about stuff, John. Always crying. Get up. She's a Biden co-conspirator is what she is. Yeah, maybe I'll make her vice president. She gets out. Maybe I'll make her a deal. And if she pays my $544 million tax bill. Not tax bill. What was it? Judgment. Excuse me. Ingaran. He hated me the whole time. I'm going to appeal. I'm going to win. I've got a great case. I can't even afford nice ties anymore. I have to wear dinner napkins now because of the work they've done to me.
Is that Mar-a-Lago napkins? Is that what that is?
It is. We have the finest. You got to have long ties, John, because they curve around and they hide your penis when it's hard. Then no one knows. No one knows you're thinking about Stormy Horseface Daniels. No one knows. She's a horseface. No, why would I have sex with her? No, people accuse me. Listen, did you have sex with her? Of course I didn't have sex with her. I just gave her $130,000 because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, you're helping out her career, right?
Nice guy. I think I'm gonna go now. Trump's gonna go. I like the warmth of Trump. It makes me feel warm. But Trump's saying goodbye because my impersonation is really falling apart. It's horrible. I need to do better. It needs to be darker, deeper. Trump. Like it's walking. Ta-da.
Oh, Marv, you're back.
Oh, it's Marv.
Oh, whoa.
He's gone.
Man.
I do like this tie. As for his tie, I'm going to wear this.
It was like stupid.
I think it's stupid looking. And people go, "What? You can't even afford a tie."
It's like you were Big Bird, and then you took off your head, and you were a regular person again. It's
like when he gave Stormy went, Daniels. He gave her a 2-minute warning when he's going to come. And she said, let the clock run. I want this over with. Let the clock run. That's what she said.
Ugh. Ugh.
Ivanka, I was making love to Stormy, and I said, Ivanka, I said, Stormy, I was right before, you look just like my daughter, Ivanka. Oh, call me daddy. Call me daddy.
Do you think that Mike Johnson and Donald Trump get along?
Absolutely. Mike Johnson has always kissed his ass.
I know he has.
He's a fake Christian, man.
But they are like
the people who tell me they're the most Christian and say they do all the Christian stuff are the worst Christians.
Yeah,
Jesus
probably.
Jesus wouldn't brag about being a Christian.
I mean, so how many people you think he's got chained up somewhere in Louisiana? Is it what?
Oh,
Louisiana
he's got
in the bayou?
Little kitty shoes in his attic, something. Yeah, he's from Louisiana. He's a Weezy.
He's got like kids' teeth or something like that.
Oh, he probably collects their teeth. I think, you know what? He looks like a tooth collector. He could start in Denzel Washington's bone collector. I'm the bone.
You know, he kind of looks like that guy that would be like trading people underground. You know what I mean? They're just like in a he's like head of this, like either like a you know, a coke plantation or something like that, and he's just, you know, using people to.
I mean, he only got elected because no one knew who the fuck he was.
Right?
They're like, oh, he's a congressman too? We can't agree on anybody. Let's pick this nobody who's a fucking raging right-wing conservative nut.
But correct
see
me
what
if
happened.
I'm wrong.
What happened to him this week? He went to a retreat. He's supposed to give a speech on their plans for government. What did he do? What did he do, John?
He gave a sermon. He told us about the Lord.
Preached. I preach you. Children. Oh, you know, reminds me. Remember the preachers going around and people were dying and shit? I just saw an interview of him about why he's taking private jets.
Mike Johnson?
No, I don't know the preacher's name. Let me see if I can find it again.
Oh, Joel Osteen? Or the other one? Or one of the other?
No, Joel Osteen's kind of good looking, right? This guy's scary looking.
Oh, okay.
He used to do there were videos of him preaching to people, and they would be falling over and shit. All right, about flying jets. About he's taking his own personal jet. He's like, don't you think that's wrong for you to fly your own jets in most places? That's not.
He probably said something about Jesus said we all should prosper, or the Bible says something about a verse about prosper. They always go to the prosper.
I have to do this. I have to do it because I'm reaching 120 million people on my private jet. I could never do that on a public jet.
Right? With public people on it. Ew.
Oh, he called people. I don't want to ride with the demons on the plane. That's what he said. Here it is. I got it. You want to see it?
The rabble.
Got the review. Well, we don't want to watch the whole thing because it's real long, but let me put it up here. What the fuck is happening here? Things bouncing all over the place.
Is it a news story?
A reporter captured him.
Oh,
this is a short one. It's perfect. She asked him about riding with demons on the plane. You'll recognize his face when I can find us. It's a problem when I go off the screen. I can't find us anymore. All right. So here we are. I got to go off there. You know, I need another monitor. All right, you ready?
Oh, yeah. I recognize. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I've seen him before. I don't know his name.
Here he goes. Oh,
I did. I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Kenneth Copeland being confronted. Okay.
Look how scary he is.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did
She
you
meant
pay
private.
for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But
Isn't it the business of your donors?
listen, I paid. You kind of caught me off guard here. Okay. Thank you, Lord. Help me. Just let me pray.
Let me pray,
Well,
Lord.
let me just
Thank you,
ask you a
Lord.
really simple question. A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do. Without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made it.
He gave me
He
the
made
jet.
that
No?
airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy
I
it.
had to buy it.
Well, well, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that comment.
Give me a chance here, Inside Edition. I love your eyes.
I love you
Again,
guys.
getting back
I'm
to
going
the
to be a little
comment,
misogynistic
you said
now.
that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
He's coming over to the door.
We
With his
wrestle not
Fitbit.
flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean? Do you think that people that fly commercial are demons?
If you give me a chance to talk, sweetheart, I'll explain this to you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It
It's
doesn't have
biblical.
anything to do with people.
The Bible talked about riding in planes
People.
with demons.
I love people. Jesus loves people. But people get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people? When somebody in there is dragging some woman down an aisle, it made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while I'm getting ready to preach.
I don't know when I'm going
You
to
just
punch
don't like
somebody
to
out,
be
John. I
around
can't
the
take a
sinful
chance.
people or the hurtful people. Is that what you're saying?
Not the people, baby. Not the people.
Baby.
To those critics that say that a preacher should not be living a life of luxury, what is your response to that?
They're wrong.
The Bible also says that it's more difficult for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to get through the eye of a needle, correct?
The rest of the scripture. But he said, all things are possible with God.
So I can get through the eye of a needle. I can do it because God said it's possible.
You can try.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
how this guy and Medea are like,
Tyler Perry made me buy the plane. I didn't even want a plane. I'm like, oh my God,
he
it's so
made it.
cheap.
Look, that Tyler Perry, he put an indoor track in there. So you see my Fitbit, I match it to my suit. So now when I'm on that plane, I can get all my steps in. I can get all my steps in, Marv. And I can pray while I'm getting my steps into the Lord Jesus Christ.
Do you ever have to use a watch to measure your steps for insurance or anything? Did you ever have to do that?
No.
I had to get 10,000 steps a day. So I would just allegedly, some people would take their watch and put it around a towel and throw it in the dryer.
Really? Does that work?
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I don't know what.
I think the heat would mess up the Fitbit.
I turned cool dry.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I guess I'm not that smart.
Put it on your dog's tail. That doesn't work so good though. But my wife would sit there.
You get more steps with
Allegedly, she would bounce her foot all day and put it down on her ankle. And she'd sit there and she has nervous leg syndrome, so she'd get like thousands of miles in a day.
You went to Texas today.
Oh my God, baby. You're getting miles. How'd you even
You're like a
stay
Forrest
here?
Gump walker.
Got a lot of steps, man. A lot of steps. But it made us healthy. Damn it. Trying to figure out ways to cheat the system, which I did not do. I got all my steps honestly. Trust me. This is just a joke.
So I got a question for you. I mean, statistically, who's going to die first, Trump or Biden?
I think Trump's more likely to die.
Yeah.
I think his mind is really leaving him. He's way more stupid things that he says. He can't remember anything right now. He doesn't remember where he's at. And if you heard his speeches, he just rambles on and on about how he's going to get even and he's getting even for us. And he's a retribution, and then he just starts talking about crazy shit. Like he said the other day, I say what they say that you say that we should say that they say it. So I can say that for you.
You know what the bad fucking part is? His
What?
followers completely got it. You know he's right. He's right. They do say that. We say that what they're saying. I get it.
Wrong. I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Walls work. There's a Great Wall in China. There's no Mexicans in China. Am I right, people? Am I right? You're gonna have a wall, a great wall. It's fake news if you think Mexico's not gonna pay.
You are fake news.
You are fake news, John. Fake news.
I am fake news.
He's fucking crazy. Things he said. If you just Googled weird things Trump said this week, you'd probably have 3-4 pages of weird. Like he fucking just threatened all the Democrats last night when he won. Just fucking blatantly. I'm going to get you news people. I'm going to get the Democrats. I'm getting anybody that did anything against me.
That seems like a person who gets 61% of the vote in South Carolina.
Well, they did a poll. It's like 42 to 43, 43 to 42 for Trump.
So his new slogan is
living in hell right now, John. It's
Trump
hell.
2024 MAGA reckoning. The
Here's
MAGA reckoning.
At the CPAC convention, here's what he said, some of the stuff. Oh, what a great crowd. You love me because you have to or I kill you. Anyways. He said, Black Americans relate to me because I've been arrested too.
No, he didn't, did he?
I've been criminally prosecuted. So they equate my indictments to their historic discrimination Black Americans have faced. They get me because they've been arrested too. Black Americans relate to me. And I like tennis shoes now. That's the other thing. So the blacks get me. We have languages coming in our country. We don't have one instructor in our entire nation that can speak that language. None. These are languages. It's the craziest thing. They have languages that nobody in this country's ever heard of. It's called Trumpese. I am your retribution. The unprecedented success of the United States of America will be my ultimate and absolute revenge.
The what? What did he say?
The unprecedented success of America will be my ultimate and absolute revenge. America's a nightmare. I'm just like Navalny. Everyone says, what do you think about Navalny, John? I'm saying, look, I'm Navalny. We're the same guy. We're the same guy. Honestly, look at me. I'm a proud political dissident. I faced nothing but attack. No one's been treated worse than me. Some people say, well, they did kill Kennedy and they killed Lincoln and Garfield. They said, that's pretty bad. But no, it's worse. I get it worse than they do.
You know, in a sense, though, with that comment that he is a dissident of the norm, he's not wrong. He's a breaker of all the good norms.
But Navalny was a dissident of the norm. He was right. No, of the unnormal, because
unnormal,
Putin's absolute control is not normal.
Right, but Trump is a dissident in the other direction.
The other way, right?
So he's not wrong.
I want to fuck everything up.
Yeah,
I want to destroy the country.
Yeah, it's like, look,
but it'll be great for me.
Break everything.
It'll be great for me, and I'm going to hire all new people at the Department of Justice. I don't care if you have a degree. You can just come here and work. As long as you suck Donald Trump's dick, you got a job. And you can suck my dick. It's okay. There's no way you get fair trials. It's sick. These are sick people.
That's not fair, Marv. That's not fair, because he never asked Marjorie Taylor Greene to suck his dick.
Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you know migrant crime? You know what I'm talking about? I'll have the largest deportation in history of our country. We have no choice, really, John. We have no choice. We got to deport them all. I remember one time I was going to deport this guy, and we didn't do it, and he killed like 7,000 people that day. Killed like 7,000. Killed the cops, all the cops. It looked like, you know what? It was the insurrectionists were really just migrants who attacked the House of Representatives. That's what happened that day. It was migrants.
Wait a minute. So correct me. He didn't say any of these things, right?
No, he said some of them.
Okay, I'm like, because you're
Said
saying
he's
he's going
doing the
off.
largest deportation in history. We have no choice. At one point, he started speaking with a Spanish accent.
What? I gotta
Well,
watch it now. I didn't get to watch
I'm
it.
negotiating with the Mexican president, so I'm like, sí. He started speaking in a Spanish accent. No hable español.
But Marv, these people, they relate. These are the ones that relate to him.
Our country is being destroyed, and the only thing standing between you and its obliteration is me, Donald Trump. Our country is being destroyed. The only thing standing between you and its obliteration is me. I will protect you. November 5th will be our new liberation day. Trump said it will be their judgment day, our liberation day. So I am dividing the world in halvesies. Halvesies.
You know, you keep saying that Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. Well, I tell you that maybe this country's needed a dictator for quite a long time.
I vote for Trump is your ticket to back to freedom. It is your passport out of tyranny. It is your only escape from Joe Biden and his gangs fast track to hell. And in many ways, we're living in hell right now. We're living in hell. Did you see the
Guns
picture?
and Trump.
Did you see the picture? We're living in hell.
Guns and Trump 24.
America already had the opportunity to choose if they wanted another 4 years of hell with Donald Trump's chaos. And they chose yes. They voted for me. I won the election by 1 million votes, I think. It was 1 million votes I won by.
So if he wins, America's broken, right? That's the end of America as we know it, the United States.
Oh,
if he wins.
Well, what'll happen is all of our norms that were people just accepted and followed are definitely gone. So we have to legislate. They have to legislate the shit out of everything to fix all he does wrong.
The question is, do the Democrats? I mean, if his plans are what he says his plans are, I mean, what happens to the military? What happens with
Well, military is quite an issue because they're required not to follow immoral laws. It's part of their thing. So I don't know what'll happen because the generals actually can refuse to follow a law that's a crime. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I mean, they can choose to follow the law if they want, but just because he orders you to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Like if he says, "I want you to roll into Detroit and do all this shit," a real American general would probably say, we're not allowed. We're not a police force.
But you remember, Millie was a strong guy and everything, and he still tricked Millie into showing up at that fucking Bible
but
thing.
Millie also refused to do a lot of shit that Trump ordered him to do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but
not right out in the open. He just didn't do it.
If he's replaced the generals with generals like what's his QAnon, what's his face?
Let's say I rambled. That I'm cognitively impaired. Like peaches. No, it's really opposite. It's total genius. Total genius. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Everyone could see it. Millie should be hung. We got to hang Millie. Everyone agrees with that, right? Generals don't follow me. We hang them. There's no choice.
So so let's say, okay.
Look at Mike Pence. That's all I'm saying.
So just for giggles, let's say Trump wins. Do the Democrats do the same thing that the Republicans tried in when they certify the election and
they're saying right now that the House, if they can maintain control, because when the votes are counted, that's a new Congress. You know what I mean? So if they maintain control, they're saying no matter what the election says, they're stealing it. Trump's going to win if they.
Who's stealing it?
The Republicans will steal the election.
Oh.
They won't certify Biden's victory.
Right.
And then it'll be chaos and it'll be thrown into the House. And if they win, then they have more votes than Democrats.
Yeah.
You know how it works? It's every state gets one vote then.
Oh.
So if there's more Republicans in that state, they get one vote and they'll vote Trump. And they need 26 votes.
So you're saying that even if Biden wins,
yes,
when it goes to certify the election, the Republicans won't certify it,
They're going to question some states and won't certify their votes.
Yeah, because they learned their lessons from last time.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though we passed a law saying they can't do that. We passed a law saying that they have to accept the electoral count that is sent to them.
So I guess what happens if there's like if part of the party decides not to acknowledge their vote, or I mean, how does it say that it's just paper and all this stuff? I mean, what's to say that they just disagree and there's no vote or anything like that, and it's just like you said, a complete clusterfuck? What happens?
It goes to the House and the House votes.
Okay, so they vote to certify Trump as president, right? Does it go to the Senate?
No,
that's it, or what?
If they vote Biden, if they won't certify Biden,
Okay.
it goes to the House Representatives.
Okay.
And each state votes.
Right.
And if the House has, if there's more Republican states, which there are, almost always.
Yeah.
The Republicans are going to win because they own all those small, like Dakotas and Wyoming, and
right.
They're all worth one vote. Last time it would have been 26-24 Republican.
And nobody's talking about this though.
But you know what the amount of people they represent is way less than the Democrats.
Yeah. So and that's just it has nothing to do with the Senate. It goes into the House, and that's who's president.
Right.
So then you're looking at insurrection part 2.
They may have already committed it when they did the last one. They learned their lessons, and now they can. Here's what the New York Times is saying. You want to read it? Want me to read it?
Yeah.
Trump backers won't certify the election. The question is most urgent in Arizona, where 2 of the former president's loyalists may well become governor and secretary of state. So that's one thing, is the state may not certify who wins the election. I can't read it. It's got a paywall. All right.
And this is why the Supreme Court is wanting to avoid ruling on this at all costs. Is because
they really should.
Clarence Thomas and those other guys want to force it to be the House's decision rather than their decision.
Well, if they come out and say it's up to the Congress to decide this, here's what could happen too. If Trump wins, Democrats, if they took control of the House,
yeah,
which looks like there's a really good chance of it because a lot of those states gerrymandering shit is being outlawed. If Democrats would take control of the House, they could say he's an insurrectionist. We won't certify it.
Right. Like,
so
okay.
They could do the same as Republicans, but theirs would be based on a fact, on a reality. Because if the Supreme Court doesn't give a decision saying Trump is allowed to run, they might just kick it back to the Congress. We don't know what they're going to do.
Okay, so let's say the Democrats do this and they have the majority and they win the states. Do we know that necessarily Biden is the guy that they'll make president?
That's a good question.
Because they could pick whoever they want.
They can pick anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they can pick anybody. They would never not pick Biden. No. Let me put that question.
I don't know about that.
If the House decides,
or it can be it's got to be one of the 4. You know what I mean? Could it be, either vice president or president on either side?
All right. What would happen if the candidate won a majority of votes in these circumstances? Provides that the House of Representatives. This is a real congressional research paper here. With a total of 538 electors representing 50 states, 270 electoral votes is a magic number. What would happen though? Contingent election, it's called, has been implemented twice. The House would choose among the 3 candidates who receive the most electoral votes. So they have to choose between the 3.
Oh, okay.
Each state, regardless of population, casts a single vote for president in a contingent election. Majority of states votes, 26 or more is required to elect, and the House must vote immediately and by ballot.
Huh.
Additional precedents exist from 1825, not be binding in the House. In a contingent election, the Senate elects the vice president. Oh, so the Senate would pick the vice president, choosing one of the two candidates who receive the most electoral votes. Each senator casts a single vote, and the votes of majority of the whole Senate, 51 or more, are necessary to elect. The District of Columbia, which is not a state, would not participate in the election, despite the fact that it cast 3 electoral votes.
Well, that's how they did it at the beginning, right? They would make the loser the vice president.
Well, yeah, whoever got the second amount of votes didn't have to necessarily. Well, we didn't have political parties
early on. Wasn't it Quincy Adams? Is that who it was, or one of the other ones that early on?
The big one where they had to keep voting was when Jefferson became president.
Okay.
And Hamilton made a deal with the Jefferson people to make him president, to make Jefferson president, and that's when the guy who killed Hamilton got mad at him.
Oh, Burr.
Time. Burr got, yeah, because Burr thought he was going to be president, and he called it I don't remember what he called it, a fucked up deal though. So that's why Burr and Hamilton and they hated each other because they kept writing about shit in the paper, and one of them insulted the other person's wife, so they challenged to a duel.
Yeah, I think Alexander Hamilton insulted Burr's wife, right?
I think so. And Burr was like looking for a reason to kill him.
In like a fancy worded way or some shit.
Yeah, in a story in a paper or something.
Yeah.
Since the 12th Amendment was ratified, the failure to win electoral college majority is a potential outcome. Some examples include election closely contested by 2 major candidates. Contingents conducted by a newly elected Congress. The newly elected Congress, that's a big thing. Not this Congress.
Yeah.
Immediately following the joint congressional session that counts and certifies electoral votes. The session is set by law January 6th the year following, occasionally rescheduled. If the House is unable to elect a president by the January 20th inauguration day, the 20th Amendment provides the vice president-elect would act as president until the impasse is resolved. If neither a president nor vice president has been chosen, the Presidential Succession Act applies, under which the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the President pro tem, or cabinet in that order would act as president until a vice president or president qualifies.
Do you
so they've
think,
got it all planned.
Yeah. Do you think no matter what, we're headed down this road and no one's seeing that coming?
I don't think it's no matter what. I think if the Democrats win.
So essentially what has to happen is
Republicans will try to cheat.
The Democrats definitely have to take the House and Biden has to win. Otherwise, if the Republicans hold on to the House,
they won't certify it.
Thrown to Trump. Yeah.
I think they'll try to steal it.
Yeah.
They'll claim, oh, all these fake votes were in there. These people voted by mail. They voted by mail.
And you know what's going to happen? It's going to wait until, we'll say, a month before the election, and then someone's going to bring this stuff up. And they're going to say, oh, well, we didn't know it was this important. And by that time, you know, everybody will think, well, Trump's not going to win again. There's no way that's going to happen. But one or the other is going to happen. The Republicans
there's nothing we can do about
Congress,
it. The House can't pass anything that the Democrats won't vote for. Remember, they just impeached the guy. They won by 1 vote.
Right. Well, you were just talking about that. All they're going to get is 1 vote whenever they decide to redo it. Right.
Each state gets 1 vote.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They own Nevada. Well, they don't own Nevada. Biden won Nevada. Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho. You know, all these hardly any electoral vote states. Alaska, I think they control usually. Hawaii goes Democrat usually. But these small states count just the same as New York and California.
So we got to believe then that this, I don't know what you would call it, cabal or whatever, between Ginny Thomas, members of the House of Representatives, Trump's people are all colluding to figure out a way to get them there, right?
Yeah, because if Trump loses, he's already, the only way they can beat me is if they steal the election. Right? Only way I
And
can
what
lose.
he's going to do is steal the goddamn election.
Yeah, that's what he tried to do last time. He kept saying, there's no way I can lose. No way. They had to steal it. I won by 1 million votes. And these fucking
So you got
yahoos.
Ginny Thomas working the Supreme Court, and they're avoiding trying to.
Yeah, but they're not actually
on
involved
this.
in the election, but they could rule on any case that comes in front of them. Like this, they're supposed to rule on this shit. And Clarence Thomas clearly should be recused. He shouldn't be involved in any election stuff.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They're probably still all meeting.
Yeah.
They're probably still all emailing each other.
Oh, it's probably on Clarence's RV that he got.
Yeah,
free.
none of this stuff has stopped it. It's only probably added more people to the meeting room.
Right. I agree.
I mean, do you think the FBI would be investigating this stuff?
Not if Trump wins. They're going to investigate.
No, but I mean, could
they're
they
going to investigate you and me. We're probably going to prison if they.
Yeah, we're done. I mean,
and there's a lot of people on television aren't going to be there. Anybody who was against Trump, he's going to get rid of.
Yeah,
he's going to be a fucking dictator. We're going to be Navalny.
Well, you heard them. You heard the people at CPAC. It was one of those. I think it was just one of like the side rooms, but conference rooms. But you know how then the guy was like saying he was like declaring that he wants to replace democracy. So
yeah,
that was at CPAC.
Yeah. Oh, it's Trump's best friend. I remember hearing about it.
I don't know who.
We're getting rid of democracy, and people. Yeah, you tell them, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have
they're for it.
Dictator. We're gonna have a dictator, but he's
because they think for some reason a lot of these people think that for some reason it's other people that has made their life not as good as it should be, and if they get rid of democracy, it'll put them in a better position than these other people.
You know who did it, right?
What's that?
You know who did it? All this?
And his name is John C.
You know, Marv, I was wondering why it took 42 minutes for any sound drop or whatever, and I was getting a little worried about you.
We had a couple.
You are fake news.
Let's take an elevator up to the top.
You can't touch this.
All right. You've once again bummed me out about the prospects of the United States staying, the United States. So what other story do we have?
Well, Trump said if Democrats win, Pennsylvania's going to get a new name. They're going to. You heard him say that, right?
Yes.
You won't even. If we don't win, Pennsylvania, I don't know what they're going to call you. You're getting a new name.
You know what?
Regardless of the fact that you're.
You know what he was going to go for, right? And you got to say this whenever you debate. Transylvania.
They're bloodsuckers. They're going to suck the blood right out of you. It'll be like, hey, you don't want to change names? You change names. I tell you.
He will literally switch your blood with those immigrants' blood, and then you'll become an immigrant.
I can smell you.
That's what we do. If you don't, the Democrats control things now. Why haven't they already changed the name of Pennsylvania? What are they waiting for? They're waiting to win another election?
The liberal onslaught.
I mean, that's how stupid this man is.
I'm telling you, he was thinking Transylvania. He was thinking it.
They could do it now, but they're only going to do it if they win. Good God.
Are you sure about that?
He's so stupid.
All right, what else big happened this week?
Well, let's see.
In the criminal justice system,
Sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous.
Oh
In
yeah,
New York
before he
City,
retired, didn't he?
dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the
Called the
Special
Republican
Victims
Party.
Unit. These are their stories.
They're an elite unit called the Republican Party. These are their stories. Well, Trump was. Tish James says if he doesn't pay within 30 days, she's taking a building. Taking some buildings. Because here's Trump's biggest problem, right? Say Trump Towers, they say it's worth $16 million, right?
Okay.
Or
Seems
1.6
low.
million. So not much. Let me see
Really?
what it's worth. Yeah, maybe it's 1.6 million. Let me see.
That seems really low.
He doesn't own it. He only owns part of it. He sold lots of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I got you. His stake in it. That's like Tony Stark having like Osborne owns shares of Stark Tower or whatever, you know? Nah, never mind. You wouldn't know. But anyway.
Okay, so its tower's worth 100 million. All right.
Okay.
He sells it. They say he owes like 60 million on it in mortgages. When he bought it, you're back. When he bought it, it was like 20 million. So he's got to pay tax on $960 million, which is like capital gains of 39%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he owes 80 million or 60 million, whatever he owes. He's getting 40 million profit, but he's got to pay tax on the whole thing. And the tax is going to be like 390 million. So even if he sold it, he's only making $10 million.
Yeah, okay.
Because he owes so much on it. He mortgaged everything he has practically. Everything is leveraged. So he sells a $100 million building. He clears $10 million. He still owes $534 million then after selling his building. So it's not clear. I think the only way he's going to do this is if a foreign country bails him out, like Saudi Arabia or Russian oligarchs. And then he's going to owe them as president. He's going to owe them.
Well, wouldn't we know where this money just miraculously came from unless they just buy a bunch
He's going to
of
be a dictator. He
Trump
doesn't care.
NFTs? Well,
He
yeah,
don't care.
yeah, but at that point, if he's the dictator, then he can wipe away all of his bills, right?
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Yeah. So
He won't pay fucking New York City. But the problem is they're taking his buildings
there
before
won't
he gets
be New York
elected.
City. He'll rename it Trump City.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much
the person who will rename things is Donald Trump. Will rename everything after himself.
We're Trump land. Pennsylvania. You're Trumpylvania. Trumpylvania. That's what you're going to be. They're going to name, if they win, they're going to name it Bidenvania. But if I win, it's a much better name. You'll be Trumpvania.
And New Jersey will be Ericville.
Eric Land, Eric Jersey, New Eric. It'll be New Eric. New York, you're going to be new DJ Junior. New Junior. Let me see. Maine, no one pays attention to you, so you'll be barren. You'll be barren.
Give California, that'll be Vanka. We'll give that to Vanka.
Melania's going to, no, Mercedes is going to take, my wife Mercedes will take that. I mean, we'll bury everybody in Ohio. Ohio's going to be our new graveyard. There's going to be a lot of people. It'll be like The Killing Fields. You see that movie? Great movie. Tremendous movie. I should have got a part in that movie. Oh, wait, I wasn't a war hero? Oh, I like my war heroes in movies. That's how I like them. Not getting caught like John McCain.
You know who we haven't talked about is the Comer and Jordan and that witness, right?
Their big star witness.
Yeah.
The big guy who's going to he indicted Biden.
Well, remember Jordan was on the thing, though that doesn't change the 4 facts, even though it's coming from a source.
Here's the facts.
Debunked.
What do you say? Biden's bad. I don't like Biden. They're trying to hide the fact that I don't like Biden, but I'm coming out right now. A wrestling coach voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Jordan. Fucking this dude, Jim Jordan. Right now, let's say, I'm Jim Jordan. I'm a great wrestler.
I just saw teeth.
Here's the facts. We know the facts. What are the facts? Anybody know them? Someone give me a list. What did he say?
He was saying that it doesn't change the fact that money was still changed hands, or they don't know what it was or anything about it. And he touched on Burisma again, and he's all these other things. I mean, didn't say, hey, this was in between vice president and presidency. None of these things, occurred.
I mean, it is what it is. Jordan told reporters, it doesn't change the fundamental facts. He went on to list a long number of long-running GOP claims about Hunter Biden and his involvement with the Ukrainian energy company Burisma. So these are the facts. That's it. Nothing changes. The fact that we can't prove anything, find any evidence, how we feel about it stays the same. It's collapsed. Their case is collapsed.
It's the same Giuliani thing. We got a lot of theories, but we don't have all the dots to connect all our theories with any
No
facts.
dots. You know what? When you got teeth like this, it's hard to talk normal. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's why they sound the way they do. And everybody makes fun of them. Ain't their fault. You got to drive 3 hours to find a dentist?
The core facts remain against the Democratic president remain the same. This is, of course, ridiculous. Jordan might still believe baseless claims that were thoroughly discredited 5 years ago. So they were all discredited 5 years ago. But it doesn't change. I gotta get these.
They don't mind sounding like an idiot on CNN and MSNBC because they know that Fox will clean it up for them. And that's
they can go on
really
that
the
mouthpiece of a channel.
Who's going to vote for
Fox
them.
is so disgusting. I agree with you. Fox is disgusting.
So they don't care if they look like morons or not.
I mean, $755 million judgment, and they're still saying the same shit. Except now they won't. I don't know what's changed. Oh, they said that they got sued by a voting company, right?
Yeah.
I'm pouring my Coke here.
I mean,
some people put their Coke up their nose. Have you ever heard of that? People put Coke in their nose. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Right from the straw.
I know. They pour it on a mirror. I've seen. Their Coke is different than mine. So they're willing to use Russian assets to prove their case. They have no decency. Here's what the Republicans say should happen to Democrats.
Isn't it amazing how the Republican Party has completely flipped? I mean, it's like watching Iron Eagle 3 out there. You know what I mean? Where they get with the Russians.
Yeah, because they know they're losing. White men are losing control of stuff because we're not going to be the superior race, but they are white supremacists through and through. And even the ones that won't admit it know they're white supremacists.
Yeah.
That's why Trump's winning, because of racism. The blacks love me. The blacks, they're just like me. They like tennis shoes.
How do you figure that, though? How do you figure because there are Latinos and there are or Latinx and there are blacks who do.
Well, first of all, he's got
support him.
the religious base, which
Yeah.
he's the most disgusting human being ever. And
The abortion
that-
angle gets a lot of people in that.
that says a lot about our religions in this country. That they're fucking frauds. Even if you say you're Christian, I don't think you are. Especially if you vote for Donald Trump, you're not. You're not Christian. You're a liar. You're fooling
Well,
yourself.
if your one and only complete issue is abortion,
Well, they've got that settled already. That's not a federal thing.
I know, but I mean if that's your sticking point, and Donald Trump did that, we can't argue that he didn't have a hand in it, because he really did.
I support the IVF. IVF, that's in the news now. The intravenous fundraiser. That's what I want. It's fundraising.
And you know how the hand of God works. The hand of God can work through the most evil demon.
Just remember,
Isn't that how God would do it?
I support IVF.
He would work through an evil man.
Is it intravenous fundraising? Is that what the IVF stands for? I'm supporting it. I know Texas, you can't. Alabama, they love the IVF. They say you can't do it there. You're killing babies. Everybody in that little tube. You're fertilized. You're a baby. You're a baby. Shut up, you babies. Those babies should be allowed to vote, John. That's what I'm saying. They should be allowed to vote.
You're probably right.
IVF is the issue that's going on. All these women have frozen their eggs, and Alabama says basically what they say is these eggs are let me find it. I want to even though I used the other one of you can't touch this, they still dinged us. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I can't use you can't touch this, but
You
that's
can
what they're
touch
saying.
this.
You can't touch it. Then we'll have to sing it.
Yeah, you can touch this.
China.
He's threatening tariffs again. Here's how he's saying, I'm going to raise taxes on all these imports, which means we're paying them.
Yeah.
They said if a country raises ours 10%, I'm raising their tariff 30%. Last time I did this, we made all kinds of money. And he goes, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. We did pay more in taxes under Trump because he raised the tariff on all Chinese goods. $10 billion we spent when Trump was president paying extra taxes because he's saying, I'm charging the Chinese. He's charging their goods and we pay it. He's so fucking stupid. He doesn't understand how import taxes work.
And
They
then
raise ours, I raise ours.
And MAGA people are concerned. Their biggest concern is Biden's so-called coziness with the Chinese government.
Yeah, after Trump, they turns out made $5 million.
After Trump was like, look, I don't care what you do with the Uyghurs. I want to get a deal made.
Right.
And then after Trump is like handing them an extra $10 million.
He almost put the farmers out of business by charging the imports on those things because the farmers had to go somewhere else to find their products. They lost like $80 million. Farmers did when Trump was president. I don't get it.
For him. The farmers
I don't
are
get it.
voting for
I
him.
don't get it. How can they be so stupid? It's like truckers said they were going to have a strike. Because did you see that? The trucker said they were going to strike and close down New York City because he got fined that money. Who saved the truckers' pension fund? Who saved it?
Right?
Joe Biden. How fucking stupid can they be? Trump was there. He didn't do shit for their fund for 4 years.
No, he
Biden
jumped
comes
in their
in.
truck. You
fixes
remember
the
that?
First fucking year. He
He
bails
jumped
them
up
out.
in their truck and tooted their horn. Do you remember that bullshit?
Yeah. They're fucking just ignorant, low information voters. That's what they are. They don't know it. I get mad at truck drivers, especially for saying this shit. You don't even know who's on your side. Well, the gas prices are high. What the fuck does the president have to do with gas prices? You tell me. Nothing. Fucking idiots. The whole world's in having Trump's policies. If he puts import taxes and everything, inflation is going to go through the roof again. That's what all the economists say. He'll destroy the economy just like he did the first fucking time.
So I got a question for you. So how can India be one of our, I wouldn't say closest allies, but we be one of our allies and then still pretty much floating the Russian government by buying their oil?
They got to get oil, and they could buy ours. We sold more oil than we've ever sold before, and we produce more oil than we've ever produced before. So they must still need more oil, because the world's oil consumption is just going up and up and up. You know that. Everybody, any of these third world countries that are revolutionizing, they're going to need a ton of oil. So I can't answer your question, though.
The Russians have control over these African countries that have a lot of oil?
No, I don't think they do. But the United States is number one oil
Russia
producer
has
in
a
the
lot of
world.
oil still, but
The U.S. is the number one oil producer in the world.
so then how come they're not buying it off of us? Is Russian oil cheaper?
I don't know. We got rules. There's weird rules with oil. Like if you make you have to sell so much of it. I don't know what the rules are. Let me look it up.
I just find it so odd that we spend all this time, we spent all that time talking about sanctions and how the sanctions were really going to affect the Russians, and it hasn't done really that much to them.
I don't know. It says in 2022 we exported 9.52 million barrels of petroleum to 180 countries and 4 U.S. territories. Crude oil exports of about 3.6 million accounted for 38% of the total U.S. gross petroleum exports. Who buys most of our oil? Is that what you want to know? Mexico buys 12%, Canada 9%, China 7%.
We're still giving China oil.
Why do we import oil? Is that what you're saying? Because our refineries are designed for heavy crude, and most of what we produce is light sweet crude. So most of our production we can't refine. That's why we still got to buy oil.
No, my question is, how can we call India a favored ally when they're propping up our biggest adversary?
Because it's more than one issue. It's got to be more than one thing.
Yeah, I know we can't force them to buy oil off of certain people, but I mean, how the fuck were the sanctions going to work with anybody if our own ally is fucking backdooring us?
I think it's got a lot to do with the kind of oil you're getting.
We got that sweet, sweet American oil.
We're still buying Russian oil.
See what I mean? It just doesn't fucking make sense.
India and China are the main buyers of oil from Russia, as other major economies have shunned its energy exports. Japan is now buying Russian oil. Maybe they lowered their prices so much they can't say no.
I mean, it still makes you think that even the global, globally, it's still like a fucking game too, right?
I can't find an answer to your question of why they're still. I guess you can't.
Yeah, I understand you can't force a country to, who they pick to buy oil off of. But I mean, at the same time, we're in a situation where we're putting all these sanctions against Russia, and then we have one of our closest allies who's propping this country up. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. While we're talking oil, though, someone was yelling at me because they said we used up our entire oil reserve, which is not true. They released 60 million barrels of it, but it's at one of the lowest levels it's been at in a while. But let's face it, it got full during COVID. Your oil reserve filled up because no one was buying it, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have no oil because Biden released it all. And that's not true.
Yeah, but even when we talked last week, when we were saying that, they've run out of sanction ideas to sanction them even harder. When in the whole time, none of the sanctions worked.
You can't say none of them worked.
Their economy is as good as it was, if not better.
No, and their economy isn't even as good as 4 states in this country. Russia is not an economic powerhouse in
Yeah,
any
but they've
regard.
had they haven't had as much growth as the United States, but they've had more growth than a lot of other countries.
I don't know about
Their
that.
country or their economy is not doing bad compared to other countries.
I don't think that's accurate. Let me look up Russian economy.
Well, they just showed it on MSNBC this week.
How is Russian economy doing? This is from 2023. Outpaced the U.S. by terms of growth, increasing in size by 3.6, despite being subject to a wide array of sanctions and being cut off from major markets. That just tells you how bad it was, though, doesn't it?
Well, no. What I'm telling you is that that their economy has grown. It hasn't grown as much as ours. Don't get me wrong, but as opposed to other global countries, they're right up there with other countries that are their economies doing well. And part of the reason is what we were talking about before, that all these other countries are propping them up by buying their oil and other goods off of them. So I don't understand how these
its economy was only growing. It wasn't growing anywhere. And when you say it's doing way better, it's still like 11th in the world for a country that wants to be the powerhouse of the world. They're not even in the top 10.
They're not hurting.
Yeah, they are. Their growth forecast was 2.6%, up from 1.1%. So it's getting better, but it was pretty shitty.
I'm not really convinced that I think the sanctions.
It has enormous natural resources.
I think the sanctions are just wordplay and a goddamn gimmick. I don't think that
I don't think so.
Have as much teeth.
These sanctions are taking shit away from the oligarchs and shit, though. They're targeting people who are losing their ships and shit. They don't like losing their shit.
And yet the war still continues.
Yeah, because Putin is never going to stop. He's got Parkinson's, they said. What's he got to lose? As long as he's in power, nothing's going to change.
I mean, the only thing you can say is, at least did they pass that Ukraine package, right?
No.
Oh.
The House never passed it. Here's what the Concilium Europe that says Russia's economy will continue to shrink in 2023. Its GDP forecast is set to decline by 2.5%. But then it says in NPR its economy is growing strong despite sanctions. I don't know. They got a lot of natural resources though that they can sell. So despite all the sanctions, people are still buying them.
I just
but most of its economy has been largely driven by an increase in government spending on the war in Ukraine. So that is a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because they're building a lot of tanks and guns and shit.
You think Navalny will have any effect on the greater landscape of their political system?
No.
And how they see anything?
They'll just kill anybody that protests. I mean, it'll play in the Western Hemisphere, but it's not playing there. I mean, people have been getting arrested though for protesting his death. But here's what Russia's economy is falling behind by the macroeconomic perspective. Russia is far behind its potential. Russia's economy contracted by 2.1%, with a record high energy exports cushioning that would have been a far deeper contraction. Russia's economy is over 5% smaller than it had been prior to the escalation, and is far underperforming other energy exporters, including the U.S. The war and associated multilateral sanctions are putting Russia's economy under considerable economic strain, contributed to rapidly growing expenditures, a depreciating ruble, increasing inflation, and a tight labor market reflecting a loss of workers. So, I mean, you're getting conflicting reports. If you look at one number, they say they're doing great, but they say if you look at what's behind those numbers, no, it's shrinking. So I don't know what. I'm not an economist. The ruble's weak. You know, Tucker Carlson went in and said, I bought $400 worth of groceries, fed up my whole crew for a week here with $400 worth of groceries. But what he didn't point out was they make like $200 a month. So an American going over spending $400 just doubled their income. They can't go out and spend $400 worth of groceries.
Well, with $400 worth of groceries here, you could feed a whole crew for how long did he say?
I don't know. I
feed people for a month here.
I spend $50 if I go to Aldi's and don't get shit hardly. I mean, if I went through my bills and look what I spend in the grocery stores, it's way more than $400. And it's only my wife, me, and my daughter living here. But my son eats here a lot, so. I don't know. I can't tell if they're doing good or bad. I'm not an economist. The ruble's way down though.
But that wasn't really my question. More was how can we trust India and some of these other countries when they're willing to buy so much? I mean, it's just like a shell. It's not. I don't know if you call it a shell game, but it's just like, you know, cracking down over here whenever it's getting propped up from the other end. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you can do. You can't make them do it. You can just say we expect you to do it, and then they're going to keep doing what's right for their country. Everyone has to do what's right for their own country.
Yeah,
What
I
you
don't know.
expect from them, I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. I don't know if India is a favored nation or any of that kind of stuff, but
sure it is. Here's what I think about India buying oil from them.
Well, not just India, but any country that's our ally, like a favored nation country ally.
I don't know. You're beyond me when you ask a question, John.
Anyway.
No economy shit, but I do know that Trump is going to blow up our economy if he gets elected with his fucked up tax plan that just charges us more money. And then he pretends, I lowered taxes. Because you're not counting the other bullshit you pulled.
Is it another tax cut? Is that what he's proposing?
Yeah.
I didn't see his tax plan.
Another tax cut.
What's his tax cut? How many percent?
It's just him talking. There's no.
But again, if he comes president, everything's broken.
It'll all get fucked up again, yeah.
He'll probably.
But everyone will say, this is the greatest economy ever.
Some shit.
They'll say, this is the best economy ever.
Right? You think when they were coming up with MAGA, he was like, hey, I want something that is short like Nazi, but really cool to say.
Trump tax cuts. Oh, well, here's the thing. He made that law that's going to expire for tax cuts, remember? For people like you and me. Yeah. Our taxes are going to go up under the Trump plan. But the rich people stayed.
Why is that a shock?
It's going to revert back to 2017 levels. Our taxes. In 2025, our tax rate goes back to 2017. So instead of 12% that we're paying now, we'll be back up to 15%.
And so he's saying that he's going to extend it?
Yeah. Well, Republicans want to extend it, yeah. Standard deduction is going to drop $6,500 from $12,000. Jesus. We're going to have a lot of money, John.
Yeah.
It's going to go from $24,000 for couples, which I think it's not even that. I think mine said it was 29 this year, wasn't it?
Do you think Biden is going to have to come out and say
13,000? Tax cuts are going to drop to 13,000 for a couple.
Did you hear?
What?
Do you think Biden is going to have to politically going to come out and have to say that he's going to extend it?
I don't know. He's already pumping a lot of money in the economy. He's already lowered the how much we spend, but it's still a lot of money. It's still 900 billion. I mean, Trump was over $1 trillion every year. Well, Trump was like $2 trillion a year. But that's the Republican plan. They what they do is they come in office and they lower taxes and run up the deficit.
Yeah. And then let the Democrat for the next 8
The
years.
Democrat takes over after they've fucked up the economy, which they've done every time.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand how people think Republicans are good at economy, because every time they leave office, the country's fucked.
Because it's perception. It's not reality, is what it is.
Right.
The Republicans have marketed themselves so well that they're, fiscally conservative, and they keep saying these words, and people start to believe it when it's the exact opposite. It's the fucking Republican game plan.
The first Bush left office, economy's going to the toilet. Now, Clinton gets credit for fixing it, but actually Bush did pass a tax right before he left that helped Clinton a lot. But still, Clinton's economy, great. Bush Jr. but he takes over. Mm-hmm. He wrecks the economy. Obama fixes it. Trump comes in office, wrecks the economy again. I know they said he had a great economy, but COVID, you can't but COVID. It happened when you were in there.
Right.
What'd you do about it? He wrecks the economy, which he did, and he's going to wreck this one with this fucking plans of his. Biden fixes it. If Trump comes in again, he's going to fuck it all up again, because they're frauds, economic frauds.
Well, I think that's where we're going to end it on the economic frauds, because we're at 116.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what we even talked about there. We summarized.
We got to a lot of it.
Stormy Daniels, we talked about her. Ivana. He's going to make Ramaswamy and Noam won the straw poll to be the vice president. That's two fucking dickheads. Psychos.
Yeah. Marjorie doesn't like either one of those choices. Come here.
She wants to be the vice president.
Come here.
Marjorie wants to be the vice president.
Come here. Come here. She's right here. Look, there she is. Look,
there you go, Marjorie. We'll play some music for you, Marjorie. Hi, Marjorie. Here, girl. Here, girl. All right, number 39's in the books. We talked a lot of shit today. I don't know who watched the last one or not.
I don't know which you scared me even more this time than previous times, but you frightened me once again, Marv.
Thank you.
Now, bump, bump.